Liverpool versus everybody. We are live. I got my main man AJ on. Really good to have him on. Was trying to get some other guys on, and maybe as we are in conversation, a couple of people will join us. But AJ, man, good to have you on. Just talk to me about the game before going in. We all have talked about, I think, almost collectively, Liverpool fans have this kind of hoodoo or fear factor when it comes to playing at Selhurst Park. I mean, over the years, we're not to really get into it. We know the games that have kind of broken us. But
Yeah,
before this game, did you feel nervous going in? Did you think it would be as tough as it kind of played out to be?
I thought it'd be tough, but I was confident that we'd get the victory.
Mhm.
We've won, I think, four in a row here. Though this is a tough place to play, it's just that game back in 2014 that comes back to haunt us. So that's been on Liverpool fans' minds for a while. But even though we have to always grind them out, we tend to win here recently.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to remind people of as well. It's almost like that the game, the draw that allowed us to mess up that season is a game that people just continue to think about when it comes to playing them, which it seems like forever ago. It wasn't that long ago, but as you said, the last four times we've been there with Klopp, some of them have been tough, some of them have been quite easy, but we've gotten the victory more times than not. And I think today really showed, as I spoke about on the channel a few minutes ago, that there are going to be games that you have to win early. Even City, people think City just steamrolled everybody last season. There were lots of games last season and late in the 90th minute, 90-minute plus where they had to pull out a last second goal or whatever, get a penalty or whatever. So the key is to stay in games, not get leads and then lose them. The Milner goal in the first half, we needed that. I mean, that was big. Salah gets the penalty. I think it's a right call. The ref was pretty good for us today, getting the red card to who I think was their best player all game. Wan-Bissaka, the kid on the right side for them, was giving Mane trouble all game, doing
Yeah,
well
he
going
was.
forward as well. But again, two players that used to play with Liverpool gave us a little bit of a nice way to go in this game. And I called it before the game. I thought Sacco, as good as he was for us, almost kind of having like a cult like status with Liverpool and the supporters. He's a bit off a bit when he's defending. He's a little bit out of control at sometimes. And so I thought there was a chance that he could maybe get wrapped around somebody's foot there in the box. He did that. We got the goal. And then Mateke. Even the game last season, he had a bunch of chances for them, but he just didn't capitalize on them. So today it was good to see that we pretty much kept Zaha to a minimum. He had some moments here and there. We were really physical with him, especially Milner, and that kind of took him out the game. But then other than that, there really wasn't much from them that threatened us. Talk to me about our goalkeeper, man. Talk to me about how confident you are, maybe even more so going into games, knowing we have a goalkeeper who can step up and make saves like that for the set piece.
Man, it's only the second game, but you could see his composure back there. He really keeps things calm. And when he had to make the big save off that free kick in the end, he made the save. He could play with the ball at his feet, which is crucial. It's the new trend with goalies and center backs with playing defenders and goalkeepers who can make that pass. He didn't really go long much with his distribution, but when he did, he was very accurate. I remember a ball where he found Firmino late in the
Yep.
game with the 70-yard pass,
Yep.
and his
Yep.
short passing was very accurate. I was watching them in the
Yeah.
warm-ups with Minole, and you could just see the difference
Oh yeah.
between
Oh
them.
yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, between him and any keeper, honestly, that we've had in the last, I don't know, 5 to 8 years. I mean, you can see just the overall confidence. You know, what I mean, he kind of, they say Virgil van Dijk is kind of a Rolls Royce kind of defender with the ease that he has with the ball and his kind of composure and self confidence. You can see the same thing with Alisson. It's sometimes when he gets the ball, and I'm thinking, okay, he might want to move a little quicker, man. But he has everything in control, and he seems very confident. That save, the way that ball tucked around that wall, that's a hard ball to get to. That's a hard
Yeah,
ball to get to, and he did it. And there was another shot with Zaha I spoke about earlier in the channel where it's going through people's legs, and that could have been trouble. That he could have, bounced that off of himself or whatever, something that Karius would have done. But for me, with this team under Klopp, I'm always optimistic going into games, no matter who we play. But it makes me personally that much more comfortable knowing that we have a keeper who's just beyond anything else. He's just confident in himself, and you can see that. That's big. And like you said, he
yeah,
didn't do a lot of plucking around the pitch, but the times he did it, it seemed like it was something that he kind of was pinpointed and knew where he was going. It wasn't just willy nilly. Let me just get rid of the ball. Like he knew where he was going with these distribution, the punt outs. So that was good to see. Who for you stood out in this game? It's a game that we're playing against a defensive team, low block, 4-4-2, pretty much self-explanatory. We know that coming into a game like this. But who do you think today stood out for you on Liverpool besides the keeper?
I would say Virgil van Dijk in defense.
Yes.
Everything that came his way, he took care of it. And Naby Keita, especially in the first half, he had that one move where he lost the defender with the spin and
that was crazy, son.
Went over the top to Salah.
Yeah, that should have been a goal. That should have been a goal. But yeah. Yeah, Naby again, man. I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say.
My bad. Go ahead.
First 20 minutes, I thought Manny was sharp and he kind of tailed off, but I wanted to see more from Firmino. My brother was saying put Sturridge on earlier.
Yeah, that's funny because my son loves Sturridge, and he was saying it the whole game. So when Sturridge comes on, of course, only if it's like a minute and a few seconds, he's screaming and yelling. But Firmino hasn't really hit the groove yet. But you know what, man? It's a beautiful thing where you can even say Salah wasn't his best today. But it's a beautiful thing when we don't have, two of our three or maybe none of our three sometime playing amazing, but we can still get wins. So I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad that Salah's not coming in hitting hat tricks and Firmino's not scoring a goal every game. Firmino does a lot of things that go unseen. He was pretty, and someone said in the video earlier that he was kind of a ghost today. He wasn't really in a crazy way effective, but he did some things as he always does, making space for other players, trying to get passes, dropping back, playing D. So he does these little things that go unnoticed because he's not such a flashy kind of striker. He's not a Lewandowski. He's not a Sergio Aguero, anything like that. He's kind of his own kind of special number 9 that fits, I think, really great in the way that we play. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Firmino definitely getting more in the groove, getting some goals, just, kind of showing himself a bit more in games. But I'll take it. We're getting the win. We're playing together. And that left side, man, with Robertson, Keita, and Mane is really, really, really something to see this season. I really think it's going to be amazing to see that left side. The team in general, of course, but the more that they play together, the more that they train together and just have like this cohesion with each other, the better we're going to have. In the midfield for me, besides Naby, I think, again, the three of them were well. And I wasn't disappointed that it was the same mid-three. I think a lot of people were thinking maybe we should put Fabinho in there, which we'll get to him in a second because he wasn't even on the team. But for height and things of that nature. But it also felt like it would be kind of harsh to sit any of those guys from the West Ham game because I think Milner, Gini, and Keita were really, really good against West Ham. West Ham didn't even begin to give us much of an issue that Palace did. And we kind of knew that going in. West Ham got a lot of new players, new managers. It's going to take them a while, similar to Arsenal, to get bedded in. But we knew Palace had some keys, had some weapons, good from set pieces. Low block, defensive, pretty organized squad. Hodgson, say what you want about him, but he gets his team playing that way very, very well. But again, I think the midfield just continued to show how comfortable they were together, the three of them, and just how much that we have on the bench really as well. Lallana has kind of, I think, dwindled a bit since that really good season he had, but that's injuries and all that. You still got Henderson on the bench, and then Fabinho again. On to Fabinho. Do you think Klopp is doing something similar that he did with Andy Robertson? Maybe just kind of bedding him in for a while and getting him used to the pace in training. We had a game behind closed doors with the under 23 squad, I think it was. So are you bothered? Or I mean, I shouldn't say bothered. Are you concerned that he wasn't even on the team today, or do you think there's a rhyme and reason to that at some point?
There's definitely a lot of competition on this squad, which is a good thing. We finally have some more depth. But from what I saw with Fabinho in the preseason, I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but I still have to see more from him to really judge what he can bring to the table. Because I'm not going to lie and say that I watched him when he was at Monaco a lot.
Gotcha.
But, yeah. But, Klopp, he has his own way of thinking. And he's going to bring him along slowly.
Yeah, I think although there could be some negatives in our minds about that, and the positive is that you're seeing Gini just play a 6 role with ease. I mean, there's not even really a drawback from Henderson, in my opinion. And so maybe Klopp is saying, you know what, this affords him a little bit more time. You know, let me just give him some time, get him used to the squad. Because a lot of people have been saying things about Fabinho that I didn't really agree with. I thought he was pretty good in the preseason. But, you know, maybe Klopp was thinking the same as some of the supporters and just saying, you know what, he's good. That's why we got him. But there's some other things I want to see from him. And maybe once he gets up to speed, we can see him in the side a bit more. But it's nice to know that we can buy a player for that amount and a player who I think we all thought would come right in, not playing in the first 2 games, but not feeling like we have any real drop-off either. You know, Henderson, our captain, hasn't started the first 2 games. Doesn't really sound like we've missed a lot of him. You know what I mean? So that's encouraging. That's good to see. I think Genie is kind of maturing before our eyes. And as a guy who, over the years, whether it's in Dutch football or with Newcastle, he's used to playing more of an attacking role. He's been asked to play something different with Klopp here, and he hasn't pout about it. He still continues to play and give 100%. So that's all good to see. Didn't have to use much off the bench today. I think Klopp got to a point where he felt like, let's just keep it tight, try to get out here with a 1-0. We caught him on the break, and we got the goal. Thank God for that, because once that goal went in, you knew you could kind of sit back on the couch and relax a little bit and just wait to the final whistle. But, yeah, overall, I just think Van Dijk, man, is just proven how much he was worth that fee. I think, obviously, there's a bunch of banter, a bunch of jokes on Twitter, social media, and maybe even some of our friends in our community just talking about, you know, how much we paid, how much it was a joke to pay that much for a center back. But I think everyone in their right mind, if they're honest, they will see that money was well spent, and Van Dijk has proven to be one of the top center backs in our league, at least, if not further.
Exactly. I'm so glad he didn't go to City because they're looking at him in the January window too.
Did you see the documentary on City?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I thought it was pretty good. I wish they made it for Liverpool. I want to get into the amount of Klopp.
Well, that's the thing I'm thinking about. I'm like, look, you know, this is what you got to do to get a documentary. You know, let's hold Liverpool, because that would be really fascinating to see how Klopp gets on with his player. If people thought what Pep was doing was wild, and a different insight behind a team, you know, can you imagine what the Liverpool documentary would look like? So I don't know if Klopp would allow people to get that close to him. I really don't, with the cameras and all that. But who knows? Who knows? But it's our job to continue on. Sivens in the comment section. What's up, man? Sent you a link. Good to have you on if you can. But said Keita, man. Yeah, Keita's just a big talent, man. He's everything we thought he would be and more. And again, some of these guys aren't even out of third gear yet, in my opinion. I mean, they're not. We haven't seen the best of. Of course, we haven't. It's early in the season, but I think there's just so much more coming with Keita that it's just really exciting to see. Another comment says the turn in our own half. Yeah, me and AJ were just talking about that. The turn in his own half and then the chip ball was beautiful. I mean, his touch on the ball is really special. And it's something to say because a lot of people were saying, oh, we didn't get Fekir, so we don't really have that kind of Coutinho replacement guy. And I've kept pumping this. I think, number one, I don't think we even need a quote-unquote Coutinho replacement. We need a guy who can do those kind of things, and I think we have that in Naby, maybe even more so. He's more of a ball carrier than Coutinho. He's not going to settle for a shot out distance. I think Shaqiri, if anything, is maybe that other guy, especially from set pieces when we need him, that can offer that as well. So I think if you have guys in the squad who can offer similar things, then you don't really need a quote-unquote Coutinho replacement. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you don't need to replace him with one player. And Keita brings different aspects to the table with his tackling, his energy, getting up and down. And he's very tricky with his – he's kind of like I don't want to say like Mane, but he's very unorthodox with his dribbling.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. He does have a way about him that is, I'll say, very different. But it's effective.
Yeah.
His dribbling. And again, another player that just oozes confidence, man. You can see it the way he plays, this kind of swagger he has, that he's very sure of himself, that anytime he gets the ball, he can make something happen. And he did that yet again today. So as we start to click, we'll start seeing some of these passes connected, and that pass to Salah will actually be a goal another time. But again, man, being the last team to play this second week of the season, it was nice to get the victory. And after seeing, Chelsea get a victory, City, and it's going to start heating up. It's only the second week, but it's going to start heating up, and we need to be getting these points. Now, City don't really play anybody for the next 6 to 8 games. They got a lot of just teams that they should clearly walk over. But it's football, and anything can happen. But it's more incentive for us to really, really keep on this train, man. Keep guys as fit as we can. Continue to work together in training, and just continue to
Yeah.
see us enjoy our football. I'm just really proud of the team for winning the game like that. Just last season, not necessarily against Crystal Palace, but we might not be pulling those games out. We might allow a team back in off a set piece or go to sleep defensively, allow a goal. We did have a different keeper, so he might make a mistake. So there was all these things that we were doing, and we weren't pulling these games out. Let's be honest, we just weren't doing it. So if that's something that we're doing, then we're definitely turning the corner, and it definitely gives me that much more confidence that we can put in a really good fight for the title this season. Um, in closing, I just want to say again, thanks for coming on. But if you had to pick one man of the match today, I know you spoke about Keita doing well. You spoke about Mane. We spoke briefly about the keeper. If you had to pick a man of the match for us, let me know who that was, and who do you think in the game for Palace gave us the most trouble?
Um, like I said earlier, I'll go with Van Dijk for a man of the match
All right. Okay.
with a clean
Okay.
sheet,
Okay. Okay.
and Van Aanholt and Wan-Bissaka are both really good
Yeah, they were.
for
They were.
Palace.
They were. And
To use half host terminology, Benteke is the brick of the game.
we'll take that. We'll take that. Benteke is the brick of the game. We'll take that. I like that. Yeah, definitely true. And it was good to see again that Zaha wasn't his lively self. I mean, he's always going to be lively, but he didn't really affect us. But like you said, when you shut down one guy, you got to see who else they have. And Van Aanholt and Wan-Bissaka with that pace and just again confidence. These guys are really, really confident in themselves, especially Wan-Bissaka to be that young and to have the belief in the manager and the squad in general. I think even the fans there, you can tell they didn't like the idea that he was going off with that red card. But I thought Bissaka was just amazing today for them, and they got a really good fullback on their hands for many, many years to come if he stays with them. But yeah, again, just in closing, man, it was a great, great, great victory. And I don't really care about, it not looking beautiful or whatever like that. We had some moments, and again, there are going to be plenty of games like this. We need to get used to it. There are going to be plenty of games like this where we have to just eke them out. It's going to be a slugfest. You got to just try to
I
fight.
actually, oh my bad.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say I actually like it more that we're winning ugly because we haven't proved in the past that we can do that. And like
Exactly.
you said with City last year, they won I think Sterling himself had 7 game winners coming after the 80th minute. They won a lot of close games that people forget about in the first 2 or 3 months of the season.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
actually, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
But yeah, no. That's big. It's big to get those wins like that. There's a couple comments in, man. Just bear with me for a second. Sivan says, "Have you guys spoken on the deal for Karius to Besiktas? We could pocket around 10 million if they permanently sign him by a 2-year loan." Yeah, let's speak about that real briefly. Your feelings about Karius leaving? I mean, do you think that's the best way for him to kind of get some confidence back to play in a different country, a different league, maybe get some starting time and get his confidence back? Or do you think at Liverpool he's done altogether?
Yeah, I think it's over for him at Liverpool, to be fair, to be honest. But he had a decent season last year, but he's no Alisson. But that mistake in the Champions League final might have cost him his place at Liverpool. And it just dented his confidence a lot.
Yeah, and I think the pre.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you could see in the preseason he was still a little shaky.
Right. And that's the thing. I think the Champions League is one thing, but and I was getting on people for teasing him about. I think it was something in the warm up where he dropped the ball in the warm up. And I was like, look, it's warm up, chill out. But he was still making mistakes in games, and it's like, damn, Karius. I think Klopp really wanted. You know what? To be honest, if he didn't make those mistakes in preseason, I think we're still getting Alisson. I don't think it was just that, because I think even in January we were trying to get him. So I don't think it was just the Champions League or just the errors in preseason, but it definitely didn't help Karius. And so I think
you can't blame the concussion.
Yeah, right. I think the best for him is to go somewhere else. This is amazing that we even getting this money for him, and that it's a 2-year loan. That seems a little weird as well. So, I don't know why we didn't just sell it all together. But hey, listen, if that's what's best for the guy for his career, I don't wish him anything bad. I just think at Liverpool he's probably done. And to be honest, I think between the two, Mignolet and Karius, at this point, I think I trust Mignolet slightly more than I would Karius if he had to come in for an injury or in a cup match or, God forbid, in a Champions League game. So That's the bit on Karius. I wish him the best. Same with Clavon. I was kind of scratching my head when we let him go, but you can tell that Klopp clearly believes in Joe Gomez and Nat Phillips. And Matip is back on the bench today, and then Lovren will be coming in sooner than later. So I'm happy with that. I think when the transfer window was closed, I was a bit irritated thinking that we could have gotten another center back or maybe even another attacking player. So it's really about us lasting a season. And I think when we start to rotate players and things of that nature, then we'll get to see really if we're going to last the whole season, because that's been kind of our issue, getting injuries late in the season, falling off, losing some games we shouldn't lose. Last year, a lot of draws. So, hopefully this year we can be getting as many points as we can here early on, especially in these first few games before the international break. But yeah, AJ, man, thanks so much. Hopefully we can have you on again after a post-match. Really appreciate you making time today, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you soon, bro.
See you.